Hello, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I guess we're going to go ahead and begin, inshallah. Um, ready? Okay. Am I in the right spot? مرة أنا مشغول. مرة أنا مشغول. طيب لا تقف أمام الكاميرا. بس أنا اجلس اشرب الشاي اشرب خلي بالك من هون. I'll be where you need me to be. Yeah, I could be just, in front of the um, table. Okay. Sure. Okay. We're ready? Okay. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullah. Welcome to our inaugural event to kick off our Arabic enrichment series. I know it's very cold outside. Maybe some of you just want to tune in to YouTube or to the Facebook. But we're going to begin talking a little bit about the Arabic language, introducing people that might not know some important background information about Arabic. This is something for non-native speakers, native speakers of Arabic. Perhaps some of these things might be new to you, and also we want to give you a taste of the Arabic language for future purposes, inshallah. So I have a presentation. This is Brother Najeeb Johnson, who's here with me, who's going to present as well. So I have a presentation that I've been doing for years. I'll go ahead and start introducing myself a little bit. My name is Maurice Hines. I know I'm kind of a newbie here in East Orange. I've been here for about a year, but I'm originally from LA. I grew up mostly in North Carolina, and that's where I accepted Islam. But I also traveled the world. I lived in Sudan for 3 years. I lived in Egypt for about 6.5 years. I've traveled to several different Arab countries, and I just want to share some of my experience with you, and then also just some of the knowledge that I've acquired. Not that it's much, but inshallah. Can everyone see the presentation? I know it's a little bit weird. This is our first time, so inshallah we'll be doing this ongoing until Ramadan, inshallah. So by Ramadan, inshallah, we'll get it perfect. You want to say a few words before we? It's just like we hold.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Najeeb, and I've been in the community for a while. I've taught Arabic here before. I taught the books Bayni Yadik, and this was some years ago. But today we're here to introduce you guys to the Arabic language, not just from the language point of view, but also culturally, historically, and globally. Culturally, historically, and globally. And why did we want to do this? Because I think sometimes we're not familiar with the impact that the Arabic language has had across every Islamic society from the time of the Prophet ﷺ until today. And wherever Islam has gone, Arabic has gone. And the people of that place worked hard to learn Arabic language, to preserve their religion, and to develop an Islamic culture. So language and culture are intertwined. And when you look at different Muslim societies, from Malaysia to Senegal, different ethnicities, different colors, but there's one thing in common. It's Islam and the Arabic language. And through the Arabic language, Muslims from all around the world are able to connect and to develop uh, scholarship and intellectual networks. So if we want to be a part of this legacy here in America, if we want to be a part of this legacy here at Habul Yameen, then we should get serious about learning the Arabic language as a way to uplift ourselves. Because Arabic, wherever Arabic has gone, the people have become better. And they started to write more books and to develop a civilization. So this is some of the things that I want us to realize here is that we are a part of the Ummah. We are a piece of the Islamic Ummah, and that we have a part to play in the larger Muslim community around the world. So we have to start playing our part and start developing our own communities to be just like those great Islamic societies in the past, and we can have our share of the story in the history books. So that's my introduction, and that was kind of the motivating factor behind this Arabic enrichment series. And then from here, we're going to actually start learning and teaching reading and writing, because that's a big need in the community, so we can have readers of the Quran. So my personal goal is to have mass literacy of the Quran, where every person, or the majority of the people in this area, know how to read the Quran. Whether they understand it or not, that's something else. But we all should be able to read the Quran, because the Quran is the lifeline of the Muslim. So that's my introduction, and I'm gonna hand it back to Maurice. So inshallah, we have a great time together, and we want to hear your engagement on Facebook or YouTube, because we want to learn as well. We want to learn from you, and you learn from us, and we get better together. Assalamu alaikum.
Bismillah wa salatu wa salam wa rasulillah. So I'm going to go ahead and start off with my presentation. Inshallah, it'll be stand this way. Okay. It'll be so the presentation, I call it Diary of an Arabic Nerd, TMI on one of the most interesting languages in the world. So I know, like a lot of kids, my son, he likes these, Diary of a Wimpy Kid. But, I have the Diary of an Arabic Nerd. And so I'll start off a little bit just with introductions about myself, and then I'll get into what we'll talk about. Bismillah. So you probably can't see this very well, but this is me, Maurice Hines. So in a past life, I was an Arabic teacher. These are pictures of me actually teaching English in Sudan when I was doing my master's degree. I got my first master's in teaching Arabic to non-native speakers in Khartoum, Sudan. And so these are pictures of me. I was teaching English. This is me doing my teaching training while I was teaching Arabic at the Arabic Language Institute there. And then, coming back to the U.S., I was teaching Arabic at a lot of different universities, including Zaytuna College in Berkeley, California. But now I work more so as a librarian. My last post, I guess, was in American University in Cairo, where I was an instruction librarian, and I spent 6.5 years in that position, and also happened to do another master's degree. I have more master's degrees than I than I really need, but so just a little bit about myself. So I consider myself an author. So if you were here over the summer, you know that I did a presentation on my very eclectic topic on Islam and the ancient mysteries. And I actually owe that to, the knowledge that I've acquired from the Arabic language. I'm also an educator, a librarian, and in my capacity here, I'm a community servant. So this is part of my khidmah for you all. I know Sheikh Abdulaziz has been wanting me to do something like this for a while. So this is for you. And you can see, various master's degrees. My last master's is in Arabic and Islamic civilizations from American University in Cairo. I also have a master's degree in teaching. Should I stand? Okay. I should stand on this side? Okay. I have a master's degree in teaching Arabic from Khartoum and a master's degree in library and information science. And I taught at several universities. Like I said, I currently um, work as a librarian at St. Elizabeth University in Morristown. And I'm the author of several books, oral histories for Muslim communities, um, Thoughts from Sudan, which is sort of my memoirs from studying in Sudan, and Islam and the Ancient Mysteries, Volume 1, and Volume 2 is forthcoming, inshallah. I also have other ideas for books, but I'm also the author of the Marchives blog. If you really want to see, me be a nerd and everything like that, then you can find me there. And I also have an Arabic language blog, Turjuman al Asr, where I talk about, Islam in America for an Arabic speaking audience. And just a shameless promotion, please buy my books if you can. So it's all available on Amazon. Uh, so what will I be talking about, in the future weeks, inshallah? So the contents I have is I have it as babs because usually Arabic books, instead of chapters, they have babs, doors. Um, a brief history of Semitic languages. So I want to talk about that today. Um, the second one is significance of Arabic language. Maybe we can get into that a little bit. And then the secrets of the Arabic language. Number 4, how Arabic is spoken in the world. And then the last one I want to touch on is learning Arabic. So my tips for learning Arabic as a teacher and as an student. So does anyone know anything about the history of Semitic languages? Okay, yes, sir. Okay, yes, Arabic is one of them. Alhamdulillah. What's that? so, so Semitic is a term that is used. It's in relation to Sam or Shem, who was one of the sons of Noah, alayhi salam, and it is considered that he is the progenitor. He is the progenitor of the Semitic peoples. So I know that needs a little bit more definition. I'm not sure if we can see all of this, but this is a chart of the most well-known Semitic languages. So there's a Western Semitic language, and there's an Eastern Semitic language. There's a South Semitic language and a Central Semitic language. Um, so these are kind of proto languages, what we call Semitic. It's a proto language. It doesn't really have a name, but the scholars believe that there was this original language that a lot of these languages are derived from. So we see over here Akkadian and Idiite. These are, like the ancient languages of Babylon, and they're related to, of course, Arabic, um, also Ethiopic or Aegean, Aramaic. Are you familiar with Aramaic? Canaanite, Ugaritic, Amorite, Phoenician, Moabite, um, and also these languages that are spoken in um, at the Horn of Africa, Eritrea, Tigray, and Tigrinya, Amharic, that is spoken in Ethiopia, and of course, Hebrew. Okay, so this is a family tree of most of the Semitic languages. Now, Semitic languages fall under the broader family of Afro-Asiatic languages, which means that it's connected to languages like Hausa, Fulani, and these languages that are spoken um, in the um, in the north of Africa and sub-Saharan Africa. Okay, northern Africa and the Sahara. Yes, if you want to use that terminology. I'll try to unpack some of that this terminology later. So, where does Arabic fall in this map? I mean, we've seen it a little bit, but Arabic is actually considered a central Semitic language. Okay, so the languages that habitated the Arabian Peninsula, this is pretty much what the scholars think is the home of Semitic languages. Now, I have a question for you. What continent is the Arabian Peninsula on? Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to show you this image. This is the image of the quote unquote modern Middle East. Okay. So this is the Arabian Peninsula. What continent is this on? Okay. It's not Africa. Is it in Asia? So, but this is the heartland of Asia. Once. Okay. Okay. uh, well, Iraq is okay. Yeah, it's a little bit elongated. Yeah, it's a little bit elongated. But the thing is, the Arabian Peninsula actually, it doesn't seem to actually fall on any of these known continents, and it's considered Shibh al-Jazira, um, which is like a peninsula or a small island. But it just sits between Africa and Asia. So it's at the crossroads of Africa and Asia. Um, Now, there's 6 theories on the origins of Semitic languages that the scholars have put forth. Okay, the first is the Horn of Africa. They say it originated in the Horn of Africa, and then it spread to Yemen via the Mandeb Strait. Okay, so once upon a time there was a huge flood that kind of destroyed this. It separated um, the Arabian Peninsula from Africa, and of course we have the Red Sea. So they say that Arabic started here, and then it made its way into the Arabian Peninsula here. This is one theory. Okay, the second theory is that it originated somewhere in northern Africa, and then it made its way to Asia, or the Arabian Peninsula, through the Suez. Okay, once upon a time there was a Suez Strait, but now it's the canal. They created a canal between here, so it's no longer a strait. It no longer connects Africa to the Arabian Peninsula. And then the third theory is that it originated somewhere in present day Armenia, which is near the border of Kurdistan. So in this area, so yeah, so it's actually closer to Turkey, Iran. This is Armenia. Yeah, and then they say, you know, it spread into the Arabian Peninsula. And then there's this fourth theory that says it was based in southern Iraq, so in this area, and then it spread. But this is based on biblical studies. These first four studies uh, are weak. These first four opinions that scholars have are actually weak, and they say that the most plausible ones are one of these two: that it originated in present day Canaan. Canaan is Philistine, we know. I mean, and then the most safe opinion, according to most scholars, is that it originated in the southern part of the Arabian Peninsula, so where Yemen and Oman are, and then it spread uh, later. So this is according to Wafi. So if you're going to be an Arabic, expert, you'll study something called fiqh al-lugha, and this is where they talk about a lot of these different theories. Okay. Now, I just put forth 6 theories. And I'll tell you which one the scholars think is the most safe. What do you think? Sisters are welcome to speak up. Yes, sir. Okay. Of course, Kiswahili is a language that um, it came a lot later in history. I'm kind of talking about original Semitic languages and stuff like that prior to the time of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But if we look at several of these theories, one, two, you know, at least 2 of these theories kind of place it somewhere in Africa. Okay.
Can I? I'm here. I'm a student and a presenter at the same time.
I'll give you
No, I don't. I don't need. I'm you guys, right? So
for
I
the
would.
people online.
Oh, okay. I would guess that this is his expertise here, but I would think that perhaps between Yemen and the Horn of Africa. Why I say this because even in the Quran, you see like Yemen and the Horn of Africa like had a long-standing relationship, even prior to Islam. You see that like Sheba, right? Right, alayhi salam. Or like you see, she was where? I mean, she was really from East Africa, and they ruled Yemen. Yemen was ruled even during the time of prior to the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. You see that Yemen was like a colony, perhaps, of the ancient Eastern empire coming from Ethiopia in that area. So that for me, that must mean that there must have been a long linguistic or language relationship between Yemen and between the Horn of Africa.
And another.
So for me, I would say that seems plausible. It seems like they maybe both of the areas were Arabic speaking people because of relationships. So that would be my guess.
Another interesting fact. If you, for instance, if you read in the Sirah of Ibn Hisham, for instance, you'll find, sorry, you'll find, for instance, that the first hijrah, actually the first and second hijrah, were made to Ethiopia, right? That, and that kind of, it signifies a certain cultural awareness that somehow the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was aware of a just king all the way in Ethiopia. And then if you read the story, the Sahaba, they're living there, and of course they're Amr ibn al-As, before he was a Muslim. Uh, he goes to the Najashi, the Negus of Ethiopia. He tells them there's these Muslims, there's people that aren't of your religion that are living amongst you. And so we know the um, Ja'far ibn Abi Talib, radiallahu anhu, he recites the verses of Surah Maryam in front of the Najashi, right? And he's moved, he's affected by these words. Now, I mean, if you're really thinking about it, how is it that the Najashi actually understood what was saying, what was being said in the Quran, in these Quranic verses? And we don't have any reports of there being a mutarjim, what do you call it, an interpreter. Uh, and just think about it, even how difficult it is to translate, the Quran nowadays into lots of languages like English and things like that. Can you imagine? Like, was there someone who was doing like spontaneous interpretation? And so, and if you know anything about the language Giz, which was mentioned in one of the slides here, Giz is a Semitic language. And you just look it up on Wikipedia or whatever, you'll find that there's a lot of cognates. It's very similar to Arabic. So I don't know why was I saying that
again. I said that was my opinion. My opinion was that based on what you've presented, for me personally, I lean towards Arabic originally in either, like you said, in Yemen. Uh, Based on what he said why he was speaking about this. So, because of what I said personally, based on his presentation, is that for me, I would think that the likelihood of the origination of Arabic per se was probably either Yemen or in East Africa. And now that they're separated, we don't know if it was even like that before, right? So, at any rate, because of this long withstanding relationship you see between Yemen and between East Africa, which goes back thousands of years before the Prophet ﷺ. And we know this from the story of Sulaiman, alayhi salam, who preceded the Prophet over 1,000 years. So obviously, this tells us that there was a strong relationship between the Arabic speaking people of Yemen, which would be nowadays Yemen, and East Africa. And we know when countries tend to rule other countries or interact, languages become shared. Like everyone speaks English, or many people speak English around the world today. So that same kind of idea for me, at least, would make me believe that maybe the people of East Africa were speaking Arabic, at least a large population of them.
Plus, even nowadays, a lot of populations in East Africa, they speak Arabic. They speak Arabic. Somalis, the people of Eritrea, Djibouti. Yeah. Sorry, what was your question?
What was the conversation of Adam from
So, what I've read in the books of yes, what I read in the books of history, according to like Al-Mas'udi, for instance, he says that these were that Adam alayhi salam was a Syriac prophet. Yes, that there's 4 prophets that spoke Syriac. Syriac is another Semitic tongue. It's a different Semitic tongue. It's kind of close to Arabic. But yeah, it said it Adam alayhi salam. I think Idris alayhi salam, um, Noah alayhi salam, and there's one more.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah,
so basically changed after Noah's son from Allah and took it to them, and that's what he took it.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know all the answers. I wasn't there. Inshallah. I'm just, sharing what I've read.
May I add
Yes, sir.
something too?
Yes, sir.
I think even for the viewers at home who might, if the Semitic language uh, thing is still kind of vague, it's like groups fall under language families, right? So, for example, let me give you an example. Like you have the Romance languages. You have like Italian, French, Italian, Spanish, Portuguese. All these languages are Romance languages, meaning they're different languages, but there's so much commonality between the languages that they still a part of the same language family, right? So it's like having a mother than having all the brothers and different sisters. They have different personalities, but they still from the same bloodline per se. This is the same thing when it comes to languages where you have like they consider Latin to be the mother language of all the Romance languages. They were like dialects, they were varieties. So you have like Spanish, French, Portuguese. They different languages, but they have the same bloodline. So this is what we're saying about Arabic, Hebrew, Aramaic. They were different languages, but they come from the same mother language, the same bloodline. So when we say Semitic languages, that's what we intend. So when he says Syriac, Syriac was like a sister language to we know to be Arabic. And the language of Isa, alayhi salam, the language he spoke. Isa didn't speak Arabic, but he spoke a sister language of Arabic, which was what they say
Aramaic, which is a dialect of Syrian.
Aramaic, right? That's why to this day, there's even in Hebrew, for example, there's a lot of similarities between Hebrew and Arabic. If you speak Arabic, you could understand somewhat when you hear people speaking. It's that close.
Talk about that because I actually don't think Hebrew is a real language.
He doesn't agree. That's controversial. That wasn't my statement, but that's his statement.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's it? Say- What's that again? Sorry. Oh, sorry. I don't know. What is it? I don't know. La adri is nisf al ilm. So I kind of want to wrap it up, but I think this last idea might bring it together a little bit. So Arabic as a Proto-Semitic language. So if you get into some of these books where they talk about the history of Arabic language and history of Semitic, always they focus a lot on Arabic because Arabic is similar. Is kind of considered a Proto-Semitic language. So, like I said, like Semitic isn't really a language that people know of. It's a theoretical concept, and they say that there's two main areas as to why they believe Arabic is a Proto-Semitic language. The first is in phonology. So phonology has to do with the sounds that a language has. So Arabic, amongst amongst other, how do I say it? Uh, amongst all the Semitic languages, preserves a particular sounds. For instance, the six vowel sounds, which are actually three: a, u, e, and then they have shorter versions of them: a, u, e. Right. So Arabic preserves that amongst all the other Semitic languages. Also, the pharyngeal fricative, which is the ah sound. Okay, so this is a telltale sign of a Semitic language is that it has the ain, which is and Arabic is the language that preserves it, uses it as a phoneme. So glottal stop as a phoneme as well. What is a phoneme? What's the definition of a phoneme?
What is it? The smallest unit of sound, right?
It's the smallest unit of sound within the language that carries meaning. That would change the meaning of a word, for instance. So the so it's not the but the what you do to push out a vowel sound. We have it in English, but we don't think of it as an actual letter. But it is something that's very important in Arabic, at least in modern standard Arabic and Fusha. Also, the wah and the ya double as both consonants and vowels. Okay, that's unique to Arabic amongst all the Semitic languages. And then they have sounds that are voiced, voiceless, and emphatic consonants. Okay, so the yeah, so for instance, there's these three letters with the same articulation point, but one is voiceless, like the th. There's no voice there. The dal, the thou is from the same place. The thou is from the same place, but it's voice. There's a vibration there, and then there's also the emphatic sounds. Um, so va, which is from the same place, but it's mufakham. Is there an example with?
Yeah, when you use voice and voice that's like how do you mean per se, but the voice instead of just being the letter.
Voice. I did my degree in linguistics, so don't worry about it. So, what's a voice and voiceless sound? So, for all the viewers at home, by the way, I know this seems complicated, but we trying to raise the level of knowledge. So just hold on, grab your seatbelt, and don't quit. Now, let's get back because we trying to raise the culture. So, a voice sound. Think of a yes. Give me a second because yeah. No, I'm not going to show. A voice sound is any sound when you make it, you're gonna hear a hum. So meme, vol. You hear like a vibration. That's the definition of a voice sound. A voiceless sound is a sound that you make, but it's the opposite. So if you say th, do you hear th, s, seen? Do you t? Do you hear any vibration when you say it? That's a voiceless. So consonants in languages, these are different. They call them the qualities of each sound. Each letter have qualities. You study this in ilm tajweed, the science of uh, recitation. Thank you. All right, got everybody in here. This is good. So you have it, and when you study Quran and you get like a Quran teacher, for example, one of the first things they do, if you have a good Quran teacher, they give you the attributes of each letter. Each letter has characteristics like a person have characteristics, right?
The thing that might be unique to non-native speakers of Arabic are these other sounds that are considered emphatic. So there's more in Tajweed than there are in spoken Arabic, but there's the swad. It's different from the seen, right? The thaw is different from the ta. Uh, Likewise, the dad is different from the dal, and so that's one va. But also the qaf is different from the kaf sound. So Arabic is probably unique and particularly maybe difficult for English speakers if they're just learning Arabic for the first time to pick up on some of these uh, these emphatic sounds. What's called emphatic. Um, but one more. Well, I actually have a couple more, but the second way that Arabic is considered an Proto-Semitic tongue is in morphology. Okay. What's the definition of morphology?
Morphology. Morphology. It studies the changes in the word, pretty much. But the internal changes. So in English, I like to give an example in English to bring it closer to us, right? So in English, you could say something like transition. So you have ION. Then you could make it transfer. You have ER. You can make it transitive, IVE. You could say transiting. What's the common denominator behind all of these words? It's trans. That's the root. And then you have other changes that happens around the word, right? This is what we call morphology. It's an important science in Arabic. So it helps you build your vocabulary. Because once you learn the root, you got 12 words. You just got to learn the changes. So if you learn something like kitab, which is book, you got ketabah. You could say maktub, something that is written, right? Then you could change it. So as long as you know ketabah, the core meaning, now you just throw the changes around it, and you got so many words. So this is a unique. It's very strong in Arabic. Yeah.
So, so the features of Arabic that um, make scholars think that it is a proto or similar to the proto Semitic language. So it has trilateral consonantal roots. Okay, so like kataba, qara'a, dhahaba, all these words. For the most of the words in Arabic, they have trilateral roots. Some have, four and five roots, but some have two. But for the most part, it's three. And then Arabic uses something called infixation. So the internality of the word changes to give it a different meaning. Declension. This is a thorn in the side of most Arabic speakers I know. Um, this is the nominative, accusative, and genitive form, otherwise known as rafa, nasab, and jar. So, you know, um, uh, both verbs and nouns, they have what you call declension, which isn't just unique to Arabic. Greek, ancient Greek also has it, but it has case endings to that is put at the end of a word in order to determine where it falls in the sentence. And then in terms of number, there's a singular, dual, and plural form. So Arabic, uh, you can refer to something as a singular, dual, or plural, which is 3 to 10. And then after that, it gets a little bit strange. But and this is used with nouns and verbs and adjectives. And then also in Arabic, there's two grammatical genders, as we know. And then there's a reverse polarity between numbers and objects. which means that this has to do with gender, actually. So um, when you're describing an object in terms of number, the number takes the opposite gender of what you're describing. Okay.
Only because, like I said, this is kind of like my area. This is my area. History, but in this type of stuff, this is I kind of make it a little digestible. But you have to learn Arabic to fully understand. But so you could get like a rough idea, right? So let's skip this because the number thing, that's a headache. Just don't worry about that. That happened. It never was said, right? But I'll give you an example for one of these so I could bring it closer to you. So for example, uh, I could do grammatical gender. These are some of the characteristics of Arabic that he's talking about that make people to believe why it's probably the oldest of the Semitic languages, right? So again, declension. What's declension? So we don't have that in English. Well, we have it a little bit, but not a lot. Very, very rarely. So what's the clinching? So this I teach English for a living too. So all right, this is a little class, a little technical, but okay. In English, we say, for example, whenever you want to say something, you put the noun first. You say like the masjid is big. You put the noun, the subject, and then then you put the predicate. The masjid is big, right? Or you want to say, the dog is running, for example, the dog is running. You always bring what? The noun first. But in Arabic, it's not like that. In Arabic, the dog could come at the end. You could say, is running the dog. That's theoretically possible in Arabic.
It's actually
You're right, right.
it's actually better.
Yeah, it is actually better in Arabic. You could put the dog, you could put the noun anywhere you want to put it in a sentence. So so we say is running the dog, or you could say the dog is running in the masjid. You could say in the masjid, the dog is running. In the masjid, the dog is running. Like you have all of these options in Arabic. Like seriously, you could say that. But how do you know that that the dog is the subject? You would change the end of the dog. So dogad, doggy, doggu, for example. If you want to say, it's complicated, but just be patient. Because it's a difficult thing. I mean, it's easy if I had a board and I could just show you. But the point is, right, in order to know what the sentence is talking about, you put signs on the noun. So you can know who the sentence is talking about, who's doing what. So basically, you will put a fatha, you will put like a marker, you will put a sign on the noun so you could know what's being spoken about. Because in Arabic, if you don't do that, it could be real confusing. If you're reading like Quran, especially Quran, this pertains to the Quran. You could change the meaning of a sentence like that, right? If you say, for example, let's say, right, right. Say, should I leave this? Because it's, right, Qatala Daudu Jalut, right? Qatala, if I say Qatala Daudu, you see that do, it means that Daud did the killing. But if I say Qatala Daud da, that's a whole different meaning. It means Daud was the one that was killed. You see that? Just one sound at the end of a noun. Let me say it again. One sound. That's why when you recite Quran and you change, a, e, u, and you put it in the wrong place, it's a big problem. Oh, sorry, big problem. So, yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
To bring the man up in that language, when he understood in his language, kill the man.
Exactly.
Right. So
Yeah.
say, bring him here.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, what happened? And he said, that's what they told me to do because the language was the dialect.
Ah.
It was different.
Right.
Their language is kill him because he changed it.
Right.
And then their language is bring him.
Right.
It's just something.
That's it. This is it. Just imagine a person reciting, and they say that. Qatala Dauda. And just imagine as an Arabic speaker, you like, what? But us that don't know Arabic, it's just a regular day at the office. But these just examples where how each noun, each word in Arabic has a particular end. It could end in a, e, u. If you make a what's supposed to be u, you change the whole meaning. Even yes. So this is how delicate and exact Arabic language is. And so this is an example where he says the clinching pretty much is like this. So now you start to understand why it's important to kind of study Arabic. And it's a lot. Take your time. There's no rush. There's no rush because you get the blessings for striving anyway. You're getting rewarded with the intention, right? So you take your time and you learn these things, but when you actually can understand Arabic, like when Imam Abdul Aziz recite, and you hear what's being said, you don't want him to stop.
Tell me about it.
And look, and this is the last thing I'm gonna say. I'm gonna let Maurice close. Before I started learning Arabic, and I think we all experience this. You in Tarawih, You like, man, when is the imam going to finish? Like I've been, you like, when, you like, when is the imam going to finish? You standing, you it's like you there, like you get the yawns, you fidgeting. This is a reality that we all deal with. It's not Arabic speakers or not people who understand Arabic. But once you start understanding the basics, because the Quran is an ocean, no one can never encompass the Quran. But when you start to understand generally what's being said, it's like it's just like like you don't want the imam to stop. And then especially if he was saying like the Surah Musa and he stopped in the middle of the story, you're like, why would he stop there? Because you into it, right? So that's the point he was talking about some of the features of Arabic, which uh, which is unique in many senses. In certain instances, is unique to Arabic.
I have one slide left on this topic, and then we can close, inshallah. And it has to do with the script, uh, and it's pretty straightforward, um, I guess. So, where does Arabic script come from? So, I guess according to most scholars, this is the family of Arabic script. So, script is different from the actual language. Okay, the way that something is written uh, often has no relation to how the language is spoken. So they've identified that the Arabic script, its great grandfather is Egyptian hieroglyphics, and then this Proto Sinaitic script, which is what was written on the Sinai Peninsula, and then the Phoenician alphabet, the Aramaic alphabet, then the Nabatean script, and then Arabic script. Modern Arabic script directly comes from Nabatean. Um, so, uh, just to give you a preview of some of the things that I'll actually have some questions. Okay, where does Arabic come from?
Like a review.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, maybe you don't even like any of the stuff that I said here. Where do you think Arabic comes from? Yes. Okay. So it comes from Jannah. It comes from Allah directly. Okay. What languages uh, influence Arabic? Maybe that's something we haven't touched on. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah. So some. Um, yeah. So if we're focusing on the Quran, what other languages, might we find, in there? And this is a very hot topic of debate. Yeah, some people will say like Hebrew, particularly with the names of the prophets. We know, Nuh alayhi salam, Ibrahim. These words that are mamnu' min as-sarf, like okay, muru'a, no, not muru'a, Maryam, because it never takes tenween. Maryamu, Maryama, right? Ibrahimu, Ibrahima. Ishaqa, Ishaqu, right? So there's a number of prophetic names that are mamnu' min as-sarf, meaning they don't take a tenween, and that is a sign that these are non-Arabic names. But also, other there's a few words that are considered to be of Ethiopic origin. Um, uh, أشد وطئا وأقوى مقيلة. From Surah Al-Muzammil, uh, this word wata, I think it is considered to be from Ethiopic language. Um, uh, and pretty early on, yes, sir. Uh-huh.
Uh,
So I'm a amateur Egyptologist. Yes, so the word Amin, which is taken from the Hebrew Aramaic Amen, which we know if you grew up in the church, and then uh, they say that that comes from ancient Egypt, which is Amun, the hidden one. Okay, another language that has a profound effect on Arabic is Persian, and vice versa. So I've studied a little bit of Persian. There's a lot of influence from uh, from from Arabic into Persian, and from Persian into Arabic. Even a lot of terms, scientific terms, colors like benefsiji, that's a Persian word. Um, what else? Zij, the this is astronomical language. A lot of these other terms come from Persian. Same as Turkish and present day Arabic. There's a lot of influence from Turkish, words like Araba, uh, which Arabs call Arabiya. They say it's a car, but it's taken from the Turkish Araba. Um, and just in normal, everyday speech, there's a lot of Turkish words that are used in a lot of different dialects. Um, by the time of the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, who spoke Arabic? Who spoke Arabic by the time of the Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam? Who spoke Arabic? So if we're going back into the sixth and seventh century, who was speaking Arabic at that time?
during the time of the conversation.
Okay, just people on the Arabian Peninsula.
Yeah.
I have a differing view, but yes, go ahead. Yes. No, 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 no. Your answer is yes, yes,
Yeah, yeah.
yes, sir.
Who spoke Arabic?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I know Prophet taught Arabic like an English, right?
Okay. Oh. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Uh,
The Quraysh.
Quraysh.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, what I know is that it was mostly people on the Arabian Peninsula, Yemen, of course, and all these surrounding areas. Of course, the Arabian Peninsula was never really that densely populated, so a lot of these were Bedouin tribes. Um, along the Levant, there were a lot of Christian Arabs like the Sassanid kingdom, and what's the other one? Hira. These places spoke Arabic as well, but Arabic really didn't seem to, have a wide reach in the world like it does today. So I want to drive that point home because it'll come back later because we think of Egypt, we think of Tunisia and all these places as the Arab world, but these people didn't speak Arabic at the time of the Prophet. So that's very important. And what do we know about Jewish and Christians and other communities in Arabia at the time of the Prophet? That's sort of a. I'm pretty sure you can take that wherever you want to take it.
Mm.
Hmm. Okay. Interesting. 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 Any other guesses? Any other
Other religious
comments?
groups during the time of Prophet ﷺ in Arabia.
Sabians.
Yeah.
Um, well, I think this is a very interesting question because we hear about it, right? From what we know of the Sirah, we hear about it in the Quran, but historically, do we know anything about the Jewish groups that lived in Yathrib or Medina? Do we know much about these Christian groups? Yes. Mhm. Yeah, different groups. Yeah, yeah. And were these Jews? Were they Arabs? Were they Arab Jews? Were they Arab Christians? You know, were they speaking other languages and they just, wandered into Arabia? I mean, I think these are very interesting questions, uh, and it's actually something that I love to explore in some of my works. But if there are no further comments, then you know, let's call it a night, inshallah. Unless
Yeah.
Brother Najeeb wants to close out. Maybe you
No,
can
I don't
close
want
out
to.
with the dua.
Yeah, we have a question. We want to do it every Friday after Maghrib like this. Like today, we're going to talk about different aspects, right? We're going to talk about Arabic in Malaysia, maybe Arabic in Africa, Arabic Indonesia, Arabic in America,
Try not to go too long.
Arabic. You know, one of the things I want to speak about is Arabic, even amongst the slaves that came from Africa. I mean, that's a big subject, something that I'm going to personally try to present. Arabic amongst the slaves in here or in Brazil, Arabic in the Americas. The Arabic are your ancestors that came here, that knew Arabic, spoke Arabic, wrote their biographies in Arabic. So Arabic is not, it's always, is everywhere. Arabic has always been relevant to most groups of peoples. So we look at Arabic as last thing I'm gonna say. I'm gonna let you take over. We look at Arabic as something foreign, but it's not. Wherever Islam is, Arabic is our language. We speak English too. We should be proud. You don't have to lose your native language or your identity to adopt another language as your language as well. You can have two, three, four languages. So in the nutshell, like this is what we want to convey to you guys. It's like Arabic is not a foreign language. It's the language of Islam. It's the language for those who are Americans, are your ancestors too. Because amongst the slaves, those who spoke, the Muslims amongst the slaves were the most literate of all the slaves. Your great, 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 great grandfather. So it's not foreign. And embrace Arabic as your language and as the language of your religion, more importantly, and as the language of culture, amongst other languages. So Arabic is not far as you think it is. Wherever Islam spread around the world, Arabic was there. It was pivotal, it was part of the culture. And we could do the same here. Of course. And there's manuscripts. I hope to have on the Arabic manuscripts. Hopefully we get the real big screen. We can hang it up so everyone can see it from home or YouTube if you're watching. But this the whole idea is Arabic enrichment, right?
My mentor, he just published a
Oh,
book called I Can't Write My Name. I think the story of Omar ibn Said. So you can purchase it right now. My mentor's name is Mbai Lo. He published a book along with Carl Ernst, who's also a professor at UNC in Chapel Hill. Um, so yeah, that and it's based off of the Arabic manuscripts that Omar ibn Said left behind. So he also wrote his own autobiography. So jazakumullah khairan. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in online. Alhamdulillah. Yes, yes. Yeah, I think brother he knows better. Alhamdulillah. Yeah, thank you for tuning in. Inshallah. There's a lot more to come. Uh, thank you for listening to my diary of an Arabic nerd. Inshallah, we'll see you next week. Hopefully, more people will come out. Inshallah, and enjoying this conversation.
This conversation. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Oh, where the sisters?
Come up here. Yeah. We would prefer let the sisters come upstairs because when it comes to learning, even amongst the Sahaba and amongst the ulama, the sisters, if it was for the sake of education, the sisters was always allowed to. Historically, maybe we should bring examples of this too as well about women scholars. I don't want to get too controversial, but we have historical precedent. That's the only thing I'm gonna say. But in a nutshell, it'd be better for the sisters to come up here because education is an interactive experience. Okay, that's what I'm gonna say. But inshallah, yeah. I don't want to get
Jazakallah khair. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.